I express the science behind why I do the things that I do. And people give me compassion. You know, we use charm to get the things that we want. And we try to almost finesse our way through life sometimes. But we work hard. Ooh, I'm getting chills on this. Sometimes we work hard, but with the wrong mentality. So we're trying to finesse and we're trying to do everything to look like we got it, but we haven't put up that effort, we haven't learned ourselves, we haven't done the work of healing. And I feel like a lot of times that can be really common. Let me back up. If you didn't know, you're now tuned into another episode of a Melanated Hypothesis podcast with your girl, Tori V. Victoria Littlejohn, your compassion coach. Have you ordered your copy of You're Not Crazy? My book is on pre-launch right now. Pre-order your copy only at melanatedhypothesis.com. In order to come down on the narcissistic scale, and we all have narcissistic traits, so we're on the scale. And I feel like we start to move up the scale and become what they call a full-blown narcissist, and go into the different stages of narcissist, the malignant narcissist, which is the most dangerous, and then we move on to being a sociopath and a psychopath, right? And so it's a scale, it's a spectrum. It's a sliding scale. And I feel like a self-awareness is what brings us down on that scale. Right? So we have to be intentional of why we do the things that we do. So taking that back to our childhood trauma and seeing why this is uncomfortable for me to do this. Why is it hard for me to execute? Right? Why is it hard for me to not care? I feel like on that scale, it's a scale of mental health. On that scale, under narcissists, you have your PTSD, your childhood PTSD, and your adult PTSD. You have all these different things, all these different categories. Your borderline personality disorder, and your all your things, right? The things of mental health that they categorize. And I feel like you can kind of bring yourself down on those things with self-awareness. Right. Kind of balancing yourself. Because when I think about borderline personality disorder, I think about that being a traumatized person who is more spiritual. They're more introspective. Well, I keep freaking that word up. What is it? What's the word, Siri? Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Hey, all right. Okay, I'm going to look the word up so I can actually say it, because I keep going. Introspective. Say it for me. Introspective. Okay, I got you. A person. I feel like that is a person who is more introspective. Haha, gotcha. All right, we on the road now. Because I'm in my head. So, like, I'm like, dang, is that me? All right, but listen. I feel like maybe that's a person who is more introspective, who is more on the spiritual side. Right? We all have a spiritual side, but maybe they so into theirs that they can really see higher self and lower self like I can. Right? And so breaking it down, it's like you balancing each part of yourself is where you create that, like, normal, how they want you to be. And I feel like we can all do it, but we all have animalistic instincts. Like, we are mammals. So our instinct is to do what is most comfortable based on our trauma. I feel like sometimes we don't connect all of the things together. We have people that just do, I just do clinical therapy, but I don't specialize in trauma. Well, you should not be a therapist for inner city children, right? Because there's a lot of trauma there. And if you can't handle that load of trauma, you're always going to be labeling them wrong. Always. It's a given. The system is set up that way because there are not enough connections. There are not enough connections happening. Why things are so important. Why things need to be trauma-based first. The system needs to be built on different people. Everybody is not going to have awareness. Like, everybody is just not going to go through the work of becoming aware and then balancing themselves to the level that they want it, right? I say that with quotations, okay? And so I think about these things, right? Because I'm introspective, okay? But I also can articulate what I'm thinking. And people say, oh man, you have a great way of putting stuff. Well, I just be thinking and I observe you, right? And I don't want to sound creepy when I say it, but I have a trauma sense that I have to make sure I'm safe. My trauma response depends on it. I have to make sure that I'm safe, so I scan the room. Right? I will get unbalanced and become anxious. So to stay balanced, I scan the room. And I do it subtle. You don't know. You don't pay attention. But I'm not myself in that moment. I'm quiet. I'm low key. Right? A lot of people say, kids are meant to be seen, not heard. So if that was a trauma for somebody and they raised you in that and you model what they do, you don't do what they say, and they still haven't healed from that, you're going to grow up automatically as your baseline wanting to be seen, not heard. And for me, it was heard, not seen. I let you know what's going on. Like, I have a great perspective, but I'm low key with it. And so my trauma is breaking out of that, right? And so for everybody, it's going to be different. It shows up differently, but I promise you, it shows up. And so if you go to a doctor, sometimes they slap a label on it, but they're not connecting everything. And so we go to one doctor and they say, yeah, you're bipolar. Yeah, he's bipolar. You got the medicine ready? I'm going to give you this, okay? You're going to take this 3 times a day. All right, break it up. Break it. I need you to break it, okay? Tell me if you need more, though. If you need more, we'll up the dose, okay? 2 weeks, right? It take 4 for it to work. But in 2 weeks, come back and see me. And you like, okay, what? You just, what? And so I be having questions and I be irritating the doctors because you got this ready. What's in this? What do this do? Why do you give this to everybody? You don't have no other stuff? So there's all these medicines and the pharmaceutical company makes all this money, but you got 3 drugs to give me? You're going to put me on these 3 things? What's the ones that I have taken? Because I done turned down a lot, boy. The Wellbutrin. I was taking that for a minute when I was a teenager. And I was just dead on the inside. Like, I didn't have no thoughts. I was like, hello? Hello? And I didn't like that because my personality is inside. Right? So it's like, I don't like this. I'm just not here with it. Just, you good? You good? Yeah. Just what is wrong with her? No, that was wrong. So I stopped taking it. I'm not taking this no more. My mama was like, yeah, this is not right. Like, I stopped taking that. With that, they put me on some other stuff because that make you gain weight. So then they gave me another medicine that was supposed to make you lose weight. It was an appetite suppressant. What? So what's in this? I got questions, bruh. As a kid, people did not like that, okay? People did not like that. And then, of course, to a young black mother, that's embarrassing. You know, the white people looking at me because she got questions. She's smarter than she's supposed to be. She got questions. That's making her feel uncomfortable. So she was treating me based on her trauma. But I had a fucking point. Every time. I had a point. And so the treatment from my caregiver made me retreat. But I still got the point. And I still got questions. And now I got more questions because I look around and I'm like, why y'all ain't got no questions? You got some questions? Because I got questions. So I don't do a lot of stuff. And I question a lot of things. And I can't get with a certain thing. And I might show up for what I'm supposed to. And you're supposed to do it like this. Or I kind of like to do it like this. And so I debate on myself. Am I supposed to do it like I want to do it? Or am I supposed to do it like they say do it? Right? Because on one hand, we're supposed to show up every day. Every day. Every day. And be perfect. And then sprinkle in a little bit of, today I'm struggling. But sometimes you struggle. Right? And sometimes you're succeeding. And sometimes, hey, I'm just in it. Right? And I feel like we should just kind of show all of that and be more transparent. Because for the people who are higher on the scale, they think that they can't do it. And so they put on this facade. But it's like you can do it. Just show everything. You can do it. Just look at a person who's showing you everything. They're doing it. And, right, they're not perfect. So I love people that are so relatable, right? I love people that I can sit with and that I can show the, animalistic, I want this. But then I can also be like, yeah, man, I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to enjoy this, But I'm also trying to get to a level that I can do both of them comfortably. Right? And it takes some type of, you don't get there by going, well. Oh my goodness, I be tripping, boy. But, for real, you don't get there by, excuse me. I tried it. I'm trying to tell you, no, for real, I'm dead serious. You don't get there by going, hey. Right? You get there. If you do, it's for all the wrong reasons, and then you don't like yourself. And so I realized, I don't like myself. I don't want to get there for pity. I don't want to get there for sex. I ain't never tried that. I'm just saying. I don't want to get there for any kind of reason that's going to make me feel less than, because I know on the inside that I'm worthy of getting there because I'm great. I'm worthy of getting there because there is something behind me that's so strong. God is on me. And I'm I do it. I'm going to be obedient. Okay, let's just do it. And so spirituality is so important, and balancing it. I feel like sometimes we don't balance it. Help me, Lord. We don't balance it, right? We get inside our head, we hate everybody, and then we just stay there. And so we're brilliant, because we're all brilliant, but we don't show it. And so, oh man, when I say that, I see a flash of my ex. Because boy, when I tell you, but something is holding it back, right? And so you see all these irritating moments, irritating moments, irritating moments, irritating moments, triggering moments, right? Triggering moments, right? Triggering is what it's doing. Trigger, until boom, right? Every time. And it's because it's unhealed person with unhealed person, or to be an unhealed person with a struggling healing preneur or something. Like, it's like, what is happening? And it just bring you back, right? Or y'all just in a place and y'all just trigger, boom, trigger, boom, trigger, boom, and it's so normal, right, that you don't even realize that you're getting triggered so much. Trigger, boom. It's just all the time. I feel like the triggers slow up when you start to heal, and it's trigger. But it's like you can't even you have to let that go. Whoever it is, female, man, you have to let that go. That's why I just leave that alone. Right? When I have the urge to be like, oh man, leave that alone. If I ever felt like, nope, that moment, I leave each moment in the moment. It passes over. There's new moments on new levels. And I'm focusing on new levels, right? I'm on a new level. I hear songs. So, like, that's with everything. So, I mean, my mindset has to change. My attitude has to change. My behaviors have to change. My thinking has to change. And my banking has to change, all right? That means that my spiritual level has to change, right? Because when I get down in the dumps, what am I using to hold myself up? When I say my mind is so strong, they weak-minded. My mind is so strong. If I say that, and then we put the science behind it, what does a narcissist do? They focus on themselves, right? They focus. It's not. Nobody else did this. I did this. Me, by myself. I did this. When you think about a narcissist, when you think about the science behind the behaviors. So when you see a person, if you know a person like that, then you start to look at them different, because now you can put the science behind the behavior. Oh my goodness, I knew something was up with him. I knew something was up with her. It's a narcissistic behavior, right? So that means that person is higher up on the narcissistic scale. I'm moving too fast, but I'm gonna slow down. That means that person is higher up on the narcissistic scale, right? And so it's not a bad thing. It's because of trauma. And so it means that that person has to become aware. And so what I realize is that I can't make anybody become aware of anything. And the picture cannot see the frame when it's in it. Somebody said that a better way the other day, and I can't remember how they said it. The something in the jar can't see the jar, can't see the label when it's on it. Something like that. I don't know. But yes, the picture can't see the frame when it's in it. You can't see what you're doing. So I'm so afraid of coming out because I see all the things that people do, and then I understand the science behind it. I'm nerdy. Ooh, I like the neuroscience. I want to know the psychology. I study cultural anthropology. I want to know. And then I want to be on the ground because I want to see the behaviors in the people. I want to see the people. I want to be down on the ground. The people are struggling. Well, what does it say that's going on mentally? The mental health of it. What do they say is going on based on mental health? Based on mental health, you're struggling because you're high on the narcissistic scale. So now that you know that and you accept that, we can give you the right tools for your toolbox. It's not just having tools in your toolbox that is the problem. It's having the right tools, right? And so we're going to these places that they got the science and they've studied the human body and we're human, so that's a fact. But they don't know our lives, bruh. They ain't never been through what we've been through, so they don't have the trauma. So we need somebody with the science and the trauma to be diagnosing us. Right? And so I was trying. I'm in school. I've been in school. I'm a super junior. Okay, I am a super junior, bruh. Like, I've been in school forever, forever. But I was higher on the narcissistic scale. So I kept holding myself back and holding myself back and holding myself back. Like, you know, I had to do a little dance. And so I got all the information, but I couldn't get that execute part right. So I feel like when we go higher on the narcissistic scale, we get unbalanced, and the trauma is loud in our head. And the higher we are, the higher we go, right? And then at a certain point, we cut off the empathy. And when we cut off the empathy, we don't care anymore because we shoved it down so much. So sometimes we move into the dangerous zones, the malignant, how you say it? I forgot. Okay. Malignant. Hey Siri, what's a malignant narcissist? Yeah, what? Define malignant. No. She's talking about niglet. Like, what is even that? I can see the word. Sometimes I can see it be blurry. I don't know if you know how to spell it. Let's see. Malignant. Okay.
Malignant is a 2021 movie directed by James Wan, starring Annabelle Wallis, McKenna Grace, and Maddie Hassan.
Thank you so much. Definition. Sorry, gotta be more specific. Hit me with it.
Malignant.
Say the one.
Malignant.
I got it.
Malignant.
I'm trying to put it in. Malignant. Okay, I don't know. Malignant. I was saying it right. I just see it wrong. And so I'm trying to say it with an N. Anyway. It's spiteful, hostile. Malevolent. Yeah. My pronunciation is just ridiculous. But it is what it is, okay? It's not something I want to put the effort in fixing, right? And so one of the things that I do to get down on that scale based on my trauma is define stuff. Like, who all gonna be there? Yeah, who all gonna be there? I'm just figure out, I need to define stuff. How much effort you want me to do when I help you move. Now, what were you expecting, right? Okay, because, like, there's levels. You got chairs, and right? And then you got cute little boxes, okay? You got big-ass boxes, all right? What you wanted me to move? Did you need help instructing? Like, explain exactly. I got questions, all right? No disrespect, okay? I just got questions. Not, am I going to do it? Yes or no? I got questions because you're going to have expectations, right? And so these are things that I used to do. And so I ponder, am I on the scale or not? Because me having questions, my questions were suppressed. And so I knew what I needed to do. But it wasn't the normal. You're just supposed to shut up, don't ask no questions, you just go along with stuff. In certain cultures. Other cultures, they got questions. Like, for example, we go to the white neighborhood, they got questions. What you doing here? Where you came from? You live where? I ain't never seen you. You know, they protect their shit. They got questions. They got boundaries. We in the hood, look at the white people over there. Hell, they doing? They about to come in here and gentrify the place. Hell yeah. We don't got no questions. We just let anybody roll up. Do whatever. Scope out the place. We don't got no questions. However, we have such a violent belief behind us that we don't have no emotional intelligence, that we just gonna resort to anger based on our trauma, that they believe that we are just animals, as if they're not. They just have the science behind it, and they control it better, right? They use their own things to suppress the thoughts. When I was on that medicine, my thoughts were suppressed. I'm talkative. I have a lot of thoughts, but I don't say nothing on the medicine because it wasn't shit happening. It was cuckoo, like it was nothing. It was nothing going on. Like nothing. I barely remember that part of my teenage years. Like I barely I remember sitting at the table and like my mother looking at me like, hello? Like, and I stopped taking the medicine. And it was 3 of them. I don't remember the other one. It was Triminol, Trazodone, some shit. And then Wellbutrin for sure. Like that was like OG. Fuck me up. And some other shit. So I was very hesitant on medicine. It does help because it suppresses everything. Just you don't, and you get your doses right. They want you to get your doses right. And so it's like, it does work, but it's like that's suppressed. Like that unnatural suppressed. I don't like that. I feel like we can naturally do it. Like that shit that I had to go through to even get through the levels. Like I'm so dead, I don't want to do shit. So fuck levels. Like, fuck everything. Like, what? It's like on the movies when the person go to the doctor and they're like, oh, we're going to up your doses because they not answering the questions. Like, bitch, I'm dead in here. Like, first of all, you got to let that shit process through. Like, what? Everything's slow as hell in here. What you talking about? You going to up the doses? So we got people that's in the mental hospitals that's totally fine. They're just unbalanced and they need a little holistic way to do it. They need awareness. They need some spirituality. They don't have no spirituality. There's no belief behind it. A lot of people, they believe it's them. And then when they get to the top, they feel so hollow. I be in here, me and Jesus be having fun. I say Jesus, and then I always be like, because I feel so iffy about the name. But it's not important with the name. It's important with the relationship. My granddad always say that. Because I read the great book, but I also know it's man-made. So it's like I take everything with a grain of salt, and I go out and see shit. Like everybody was like, Oak Cliff is dangerous. I went out to Oak Cliff and had a good old time. I was down there for 2 weeks, had fun. Like, what you mean? What was dangerous? These regular people, and y'all slapped the label on it. I drove 14 hours to get there. What you mean? Like. And stopped in Jackson. Because I heard it was so down. They got a Planet Fitness. It looked like round the way. Like, so for me, it's a mindset thing. That's the problem. It's a mindset thing. Conditions is bad in some areas for sure. But also mindsets is bad in some areas. And it's not that they bad. It's that they're lacking. Knowledge, right? Solutions, right? Just a understanding of what's going on, the bigger picture. Because we moving day to day. We got shit that's due yesterday, okay? Right? And we trying to pay to get some shit. Right? We're trying to pay to level up. And he's like, fine, I don't mind paying if you helping me on the way, absolutely. But I got to start somewhere myself. Right? And so it's all a self journey. And then I go to somebody and I say, okay, hey, I know these things about me. These are my issues. And so that's why I trauma-inform people. Because sometimes you can't always do it yourself. Everybody is different. But just having trauma-informed people, when you processing these things, anything, whether you're processing, hey, I'm a business person and I can't seem to, something about my mindset. You need somebody that has trauma-informed. That's trauma-informed. That's why the black friend is always a good processor. Because a lot of times, I don't want to say that. Like I almost want to say hood friend is a good processor. Sometimes, though, they're not really. Let me see. I mean, I don't know. It's trauma-based. It's trauma-based because it's a belief. It's all different. And it could be any level of people that or any shade cutter, race, whatever, that believe it, that believe that trauma is a pusher. And then you have some people that trauma response is to excel. They don't know that that's a trauma issue, but they got to be great. They got to be. I don't see nobody. And sometimes there's empathy there, or sometimes there's a facade for everything, and I really don't care about none of this shit. Okay? I'm thinking about the next check. What else I can take over? And it's different levels based on the trauma, though. I feel like the science don't put it. It's not no context. It's just, yeah, this person is this way, and they just wanted to hurt you. I don't want to hurt nobody. I ain't never wanted to hurt. I don't want y'all to hurt me. The fuck? I am the spider. Just what are you talking about? Help! Me. What are you saying right now? And then I realized, wait, no, you're not the spider, you're Spider-Man. Like, the trauma makes you amazing. You're huge. You're on top of the world. You just have to believe you are. And then we all have our different trauma. We all have something. We got big T trauma. Something just, when you think of trauma, one of those things, I don't even want to say nothing, but whatever. Those big things. Trauma, right? And then you got, I'm sensitive, okay? and they keep yelling, all right? And I'm just trying to chill and sit here and, I don't know, play the game. I don't know, whatever it is, right? And revert you to a little kid. I'm trying to sit here and draw. Whatever it is. And they being loud. But they talking down to me. Because I'm in touch more with the feminine essence. But I only been around feminine essences, women. And so it's not that I am weak. It's just that I've only been around that essence. Right? So I need to get into more things, but I've already been groomed to be on the scale of femininity more higher. Right? So when they try to throw me into some sport, and that was uncomfortable. I don't really want to do that. I'm not really into that. Or I do it for a minute, but I'm not consistent with that because my baseline is to, I don't know, play the game or something even feminine than that. Like, you never know. Like, it just depends on what you was doing, right? What was most comfortable, and it's a baseline for women and men. And so that's just the way that the brain works. That's just how our neuroscience is set up. That's neurologically, how we're set up. But in neuroscience, they talk about neuroplasticity and how we can stretch our brain. That's what makes us so cool. So we can have the will to do anything, even if it gets uncomfortable. But knowing, just the unknowing, and you just know. And it's a spiritual essence behind that. You just know, right? Or there's a narcissistic, psychopathic, whatever you want to call it, sense behind that. And you just know because either you just do the work and you gonna do it and you gonna make it happen, or you do the work and God and that the Creator, the highest, the most high, your whoever you believe in, is gonna back that up. And so you just know, you just keep stepping. And sometimes people don't have no knowing. They don't believe in themselves because, all our self-worth is taken in that trauma. They don't have nothing else to believe in them. No person, because everybody else trying to believe in themselves, do their own thing. They're going to give you a few words a few times, but you're going to start irritating them and their trauma going to start showing. So who else do we really got? So that spiritual essence, that lack of spiritual essence is so important. Right? And it don't got nothing to do, okay, with the what's that, the organs, it's nothing to do with that, okay? Nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with the building, right? It's nothing to do with the name. It's in the acknowledgement. Ooh, Lord, yes, I got you. It's in the acknowledgement. I don't know what to call it. My G, you know what I'm saying? Sam, Tom from MySpace, whoever you want to call him, like, right? But, oh Almighty, the Omega, you know, just all the things your grandma was saying, just all that type of stuff. I don't even be knowing, okay? Because I feel him. Like, I really don't be knowing, okay? Sometimes, you hit me with a trap drum, you know, trap gospel. I like that, okay? Because, like, I don't know, I'm African in my spirit, and it be like, that I need that or something. Like, I need them drums. I need that. I'm dancing. But I need that. So, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. I just wanted to talk on that because it's a science behind everything. And I look at myself, and I forgot how I started this off, but I look at myself, and, hold on, because I really got it. Woo, child. Woo. All right, and I got to get ready. But I look at myself, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. But you have to continue to learn the science. And that's my thing. I like science. I'm a nerd. You know, I'm introspective. I forgot it right now. But I'm into myself, right? But I also have this desire, burning desire, and this voice. And I'm able to articulate what it is I'm thinking or feeling is the thing. I've been in therapy since I was 7. Right? Sometimes I stutter because the things are in my head. And that's why moving is so important for me. Driving is so good because it helps me process. Because of the way that the movement helps you to process. So it's all science behind everything that we do. And so the more science you know, right? And it's like when we in the hood, that's another world. That's not our typical. That's them. But the more science we know, and anybody in general, the more we step out of the box of our environment, the more this stuff starts to make sense. Right? And Lil Baby talked about this in the interview of him being in the trap. Like, you really don't know because you just it's set up this certain way and you just got to go get it. It's a rat race. You got to get it. Make all their money. Make all their money. As soon as you make your baby, come on, make all their money. Right? And then it's just, it's a giving behind everything because it's like, oh man, okay, I ain't gonna get into all of that. But anyway, everything is connected. I've been saying that since I was little, and I always told my mom I thought different, and she thinks differently too, but she had the trauma, and I just appreciate her so much because she still put me in therapy because she ain't know, but she knew that there was resources. And so she made me so resourceful, right? She made me resourceful, even through her trauma. I picked up some good and some bad, okay? And that's okay. Because healing, there's a thing called healing. And then neuroplasticity makes it possible. Right? We see it and we say, yeah, I'm going to do the work. But really doing the work is hard because we got to stretch the brain, literally. But we can do the work, right? And so doing this, I'm holding myself accountable. It's going to get done. It's going to get done because I'm saying it. And if I don't get it done for myself, you can get it done for yourself. Right? Because I'm not in a race with anybody but myself, so I can share the information. A lot of time I listen to people and they say, hey, yeah, I ain't gonna take the dinner. I'm gonna take the money because they ain't gonna share no information. You have to have the right questions first of all. And so I get what we thinking because I'm going through the same thing. So I'm gonna give you the question and the answer, right? And that's through me because God is talking to me because I don't know everything. But as soon as I say something and then I go look it up because I'm just the catalyst. But as soon as I say something and then I go look it up, that's a real thing. And that's how I even got to the science because I wasn't even that nerdy. Like I like to read like, you know, eroticas and stuff. Like, and then I got into some whole other stuff. And I was like, whoa. Whoa. And that's the reason why when black kids go to school, because we get attached. They make us take these other classes. We into this. But then we get these other classes and it exposes us to stuff. And stuff start making sense. And we start seeing how the oppression happened and how it continues to happen. But I'm here to make it make sense. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm here to make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm here to make it make sense because I got questions. But I'm also about making solutions. And so I'm starting with myself, right? on this path together. I've been on this path since 2017, and I'm still on this path. But it's all making sense. So are you with me? Make sure you do some healing today. Some processing. Peace and love, y'all. My book coming out. We're going to get into all of this, okay? Pre-order yours now at A Melanated Hypothesis. And make sure you subscribe, please. I appreciate you. Peace. I'm out.